Hi everyone, I'm Grace.
And I'm Amelia.
Today we're going to be learning about sex change in fish.
Awesome, let's dive right in.
We're all very familiar with fish. All fish have the same basic internal organs. Let's focus on the gonads. Unlike us, fish don't have live birth. They're oviparous. Oviparous literally means egg-bearing. All fish use sexual reproduction, which requires both a male with mature testes and a female with mature ovaries. The male produces sperm, while the female produces eggs, which come together to form a zygote.
Sounds simple enough.
Not quite. In order to improve sexual reproduction, as many as 367 species of fish have discovered a way to cheat the system by using sex change.
Wow, that's a lot. What kinds of fish use sex change?
Sex change is usually found in tropical reef fish living in diverse social environments. Having multiple genders is called hermaphroditism. This is further broken down into simultaneous and sequential hermaphroditism. Simultaneous meaning having both sexes simultaneously, and sequential meaning the ability to change from one functional sex to another.
Can these fish just choose whichever gender they please?
There are three patterns of sequential hermaphroditism. Protandrous, where a male becomes a female, protogynous, where a female becomes a male, and bidirectional, where the animal can swap between male and female. Let's start with protandry. The focus is on the effect of size on reproductive success. A protandrous fish begins life as a male. At a certain point in his growth, reproductive success will plateau. Then he will transform himself into a female. Being female is more work for the body, but the reproductive benefit will outweigh the metabolic cost.
I never knew fish did that.
Here's an example you may relate to. Clownfish live in a large social group consisting of many small non-breeding males, one large breeding male, and one larger breeding female. The breeding male and female form a monogamous breeding pair.
So what happens if the female dies or is removed?
In that case, the breeding male changes sex to take her place. This can take a few weeks to a few months. At the same time, a non-breeding male takes the role of the breeding male. This reestablishes the monogamous breeding pair.
In that case, wouldn't Nemo's dad in Finding Nemo actually be Nemo's mom? And wouldn't Nemo be the only other non-breeding male, making him
Yeah, you got it, but let's not ruin a good movie with science. Now, let's move on to protogeny, as seen in the wrasse fish. Protogynous fish have one dominant male that breeds with many females. This group is called a harem. The dominant male bullies the female fish into staying females. If this male were removed or killed, the largest female would change sex and take over the harem as the dominant male.
Does this mean it's more beneficial to develop as a female even though it is more expensive?
That's right. It all comes back to size and reproductive success. Being a female allows the fish to reproduce and grow until they're large enough to take over the harem, assuming there's a social need for it. Female to male change is more rapid, taking several days to a few weeks.
Man, I guess size really does matter.
Now let's look at bidirectional sex change. These fish can change sex multiple times throughout their lifetime based on constantly changing social and environmental cues.
Can you give me an example?
Take the hawkfish. They live in harems, like the protogynous fish. When a female becomes large enough to compete with the male, she becomes male and will try to steal a large portion of the harem.
So what happens to the original male?
If he cannot compete with the new male, he may leave or simply change back into a female to join the harem.
I really think I'm starting to understand. But what actually causes sex changes?
Good question. Visual cues from the environment, such as a change in sex ratio, will stimulate an assortment of hormones which trigger gonad change. However, if the need doesn't arise, the fish may choose not to change.
What causes these changes within the fish?
Sex is controlled by testosterone metabolism. Female traits are caused by testosterone being transformed into estradiol through the enzyme aromatase. Male traits are sustained when there are high levels of testosterone and ketotestosterone in the body as a result of aromatase inhibitors stopping the conversion.
To summarize, sex change is a response to social and environmental cues which affect hormone levels. Sequential hermaphroditism is broken into three types: protandrous, male to female, protogynous, female to male, and bidirectional, switching back and forth. All of these patterns are strategies for sexual reproduction, and at the end of the day, when you're able to switch sex at will, there really are plenty of fish in the sea.